And of course, to your top left, furthest away from you, that hole, that is the discovery hole that you were just at a few seconds ago above ground. And now, in this Goodenough mine, there were actually 50 men working underground. Of those 50 men, they would divide them up. You had 20 drillers hand carving out the rock. You also had 10 supervisors in charge of the blasting powder. The last 20 miners were called muckers. Muckers had a 100-pound burlap bag on top of their back full of ore. And their one job was to crawl out of that discovery hole over and over. As those muckers got pretty excited once you got the steam engine with the elevator 2 years later underground. So right before we do go down these stairs, I do have to go over a couple safety rules. So first off, if you...
Going down.
Watch out for your last step, you know.
Ooh.
One nice thing about this mine is it stays 68 degrees down here year-round as well. So if you come back there in the summertime, it's the coolest place to beach by far. Drift. Watch out for your step. There's a handrail on the right-hand side if you need to use it. So whenever you're ready, just follow me. There's that drift to the very top left-hand side. That's the same drift above your head now at the top, right? Watch out for your head, coming up. Just, we'll be first looking at all the black and gray rock here on your right in a few moments. We'll be first looking at all this black and gray rock coming up on your right-hand side here. You guys good? Okay. Now, all this black and gray rock in front of you, this was the famous mineral the miners took out. You'd be calling this today silver. So this is a low-grade variant. It's also known as silver chloride. And this silver chloride, this makes up a 97% of silver even in today's mines. And the reason why they never took this small section out of the mine, more than likely they found a better vein of high grade nearby, maybe right behind us here. So that high grade vein typically would look a lot more shiny to your eye, a lot more reflective. And you'll be seeing a small chunk of that high grade a little bit later on throughout the mine. So right before we keep on moving down from the silver chloride here, standing right behind you, you got all of these rocks that are stacked up within a straight line. You got some here in the middle, some to its left, and a lot to the right. And now that rock formation, that's called gobbing or cribbing. That gobbing, it's all scrap rock. No need to take that out of the mine. So they would keep it down here, and they would stack that rock all the way up to the back of the mine to make an extra backbone. And they thought that would help out the mine. Okay. Now this stope that you're in right now, this stope is very special due to the rocks up on the high ground. So all those rocks up there, notice you got jagged lines going through them in different colors. Those are called sedimentary layers. And those layers, they tell us one big fact. The area that you're standing in, this used to be an ancient seabed. Of course, that seabed could be a little bit over 100 million years ago, very long time ago. But if you don't take a seat, just make sure you have a good grip on the ground.
Uh-oh.
And if you are standing up, just make sure you don't go on top of the big rocks or the logs. Don't want you to trip and fall. Just make sure you're on this flat piece up here. Candle light on. And yeah, of course, this is the biggest stope of the mine that you'll be on today right here. Now, even though this is a very large area, we do have a much larger stope inside of the Tough Nut mine that connects to the Goodenough mine. And there was another mine belonging to Ed Shefflin. And nowadays, that's our second level tour. And that takes 2 to 3 hours long, goes down to 200-foot level, and does include a little bit of rope rappelling going down and back up. And of course, we also, in that football field-sized stope, have been opening up a dinner theater underground. It's a live play down there. Your food gets delivered to you by an 80-foot drop. You get a mine tour as well. And I think that's coming up this Saturday at 5:30, I believe. So I'm going to turn these lights off we have here today, so you get a feeling what those miners had to work with only candlelight. So while the lights are off, if you're standing up, make sure you have a good grip on your feet. And of course, while the lights are off, just make sure you don't take any pictures. Don't blind anyone down here just in case. I say, here we go. Turn the lights off in 3, 2, and 1. Boom. There we are. Wow. Yeah, a little bit darker now. And now, there was a very big problem back in those early days. Those miners never had OSHA or MSHA protecting their rights. These mining companies would give every miner 3 candles underground. Now, those candles would only last 2 hours each. So within that 10-hour work shift, day or night, you might see a small math problem. It got a little bit darker than even this. See, those miners, they would start drilling inside of that rock over and over again. And once they got finally deep enough in that rock, they would blow out that candle to save it for later on. And yeah, while that light's all the way off there, they would continue to hit that drill as hard as possible. That's a very dark place. You don't want to smash your fingers with that 4-pound sledgehammer. A very dark place for those miners, of course. Find my head again.
There would be like multiple people in here at a time, right?
Oh yeah, 50 men down here. And like in this one stope, they could have a good majority of their men in this one area right here. Yeah, they didn't have really any quality problems with their airflow or breathing down here. We're lucky compared to like coal mines. A lot luckier. If you want to, you look past the guardrail if you want a little bit of a drop off down there. Not instant, but long way down nonetheless. You actually go down. Yeah, right past the guardrail, that actually connects to the deepest point of this mine before 70-foot level underground. Right past that handrail if you want to take a look. But yeah, this part of the mine, first off, this is the deepest point you could be on today. This is the official 110-foot level underground. But the miners have actually called this stope the chapel. We don't exactly know why they called it the chapel. Some of us think those wooden beams behind and above your head up there kind of look like a cross figure in a way. Maybe that's why they call this the chapel. Though nowadays, we've been taking events down here and taking advantage of the name by holding weddings. So yeah, we've had 39 weddings down here in about, last one about 5-7 months ago now. And our first underground re-enlistment ceremony for the military did down here not too many months ago as well. Of course, we did find out very quick, like though, if you bring a large group of people and someone's wearing solid white, there's a very good chance it might not be white by the time you go back upstairs. And thankfully it wasn't for a wedding, but we brought around 40 Boy Scouts down here one time, and it turns out that wasn't the best idea in the world right there. So we had dust clouds sometimes down here. And now, in a few moments, we're going to be heading down this pathway here. But while we're coming down the path, on your first left side, there's a yellow safety chain. At that yellow safety chain, past it, there's a reflective rock called a vug. That vug is known as the underground geode. Now, that underground geode to your left, it's made out of gypsum. And nowadays, you can find that rock made out of your drywall, concrete, fertilizer, even sheetrock. Very common like at Lowe's or Home Depot. So later down the path, once again on your right, I'll be shining a light, should be a box light there actually, on a box crystal. It looks like a very weird spiderweb cotton candy effect. And then later down the path, once again on your left, then I'll be shining my light on a small patch of high-grade silver. It looks a lot more pretty, a lot more sparkly than that low-grade silver chloride you saw earlier today. So whenever you're ready, just follow me down here. Do watch out if these steps gets a little bit more narrow. And of course, everything to your first left is going to be your gypsum ore. It kind of looks like glass shards, very reflective rock there. A lot different from the other rocks surrounding you. And this coming down to your bottom right side, it's going to be your box crystal. Very weird alien egg looking black rock there. That's why we have a big tap there. And then this coming up slightly above your head to your left there, all the super shining black rock. That's a very, very thin vein of high-grade silver. As that was the big money making device then was really, really good. Whenever you're ready, you can always keep on going if you want. So watch out for your head, take a seat on the bottom break if you want. And that's your high-grade silver to top left, all that black sparkling rock.
So that's what they were after?
Yes, right there. And of course that's still down here because it's only like a millimeter left of that vein. That's why they never took it out.
So is it in clumps or long veins? Or?
Some of it can be long veins, like a thin line, but some of it, like the rotunda you're about to enter again, would be like a big spider web effect. It doesn't have to be one certain formation of it. Yeah, it can be pretty big.
Back to where we were.